2024, your mum's a horrible year for gaming, or at least that was my original gut feeling for this year, but, you know, looking back, I've actually changed my mind. It hasn't been that bad. It could have been way worse. You could have had the beloved video game character kill a guy. Oh wait. Nintendo. What happened? Luigi's in jail, Switch 2 non-existent, even an indie developer has somehow made a superior Pokemon game. I'm sure you've lined up an even better game, you know, to blow them out the water. Where you sued them? Retroactively? You see, this is why I don't invest in games companies. I don't trust them. Personally, I only go for the primo stocks like Top G Coin and Hawk Timber Coin. They'd never let me down.
Oh no!
On that note of insatiable greed, I'm here to give you the sumptuous highlights of 2024. OpenAI decided it would be a good idea to release Sora. No, not the creepy key kid. Sora, their fancy new video generator. It lets you put in a little prompt and it'll barf out some hellscape of a video. I'm now scared every time I look at a fruit. 1 second it's a fruit, the next it's a fucking dog fruit, what the fuck? Google has used the power of being internet god to completely blow Sora out the water and show every single YouTuber they're replaceable. Mr. Beast who? CyberBeast is gonna take your whole channel and regenerate it all in a day, even has his own fancy selection of kids' meals. Being a robot who's actually smarter and only included fermented foods. Now when it turns up moldy, it only adds to the flavour. Yum. Nvidia also revealed one of their brand new AI tools, which is going to revolutionize the gaming industry and breathe life into characters, making them appear like a real human.
The next mission is located at the Eye of Misra. Players need to acquire the key and upload it.
What? This is it?
Deliver nuanced performances.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled to receive such a top-secret, life-altering parcel.
Nuanced! If nuance stands for not doing fucking anything, you'd be correct. There's no soul behind those eyes.
Let's break out the good stuff.
You got it, Kai. Nova's success calls for the top shelf.
This is like an antisocial person's imagination of an outdoor conversation. If you're gonna show it, at least fake it. Throw in a real person in there, who cares? E3 did it all the time, and they did pretty well. Until it got shut down. Speaking of dead things, Overwatch 2 is now officially dead. Well, I mean, it's not actually dead, but there's a new competitor in town. Marvel Rivals. The geniuses just remade Overwatch 1 with Marvel characters. It's a free-to-play game, all the characters are free. You're done, Blizzard. Pack up your things. It's not cold anymore. The sun's out. It's got. You're gonna melt. You're gonna be careful. You're gonna go to a mountain somewhere. I'm actually outside getting a tan in all this sunshine. Indie games. It feels like every single year indie games are getting better, and 2024 was no different. In fact, it's probably one of the best we've had. Plucky Squire, a little bookman who goes on an adventure. He can somehow teleport from book to real life. I wonder if everybody in the book world sees him as some kind of crazy conspiracy theorist, telling everybody that the world's flat and they're putting chemicals in the ink tin and the monster's gay. UFO 50, a group of people have somehow discovered time travel and brought a games company from the 80s to 2024 and miraculously packed all 50 of their games into one. I mean, that's a lot of game. Most games can't even fit one. I don't know what's more impressive, that or time travel. Wait, time travel doesn't exist? Baltaro, throw that fucking solitaire out the window because there's a new card game in town. It's not as addictive as Vampire Survivors, but it did teach me how to play poker. I can now go to my nearest casino and play my life savings away. I'm sorry, my dearest Betty, but we won't be getting any food tonight. Animal, well, I have no idea what's going through the demented mind of Billy Basso, but whatever it is, keep doing whatever you're doing. The man has single-handedly crafted an Unreal puzzle Metroidvania, and by Unreal, I mean it in the real sense of the word. I have no idea what's going on. These animals aren't even well at all. The art style's pretty, the puzzles are really fun, the items and how you interact with them are really unique, even the sounds.
Stupendous.
I'm sorry, but can we just take a second to appreciate this smoke? Billy, what the hell were you smoking when you made this game? This game is somehow 36 megabytes. I could play this bad boy on my mum's work laptop. So, for the bestest indie game of the year, I think it's a pretty obvious one. 9 Souls. Art style, world building, gameplay, all fantastic. It had a weird little sneaking section, but overall, fantastic game. It's Hollow Knight with an emphasis on parrying. If you're sad that Hollow Knight Silksong isn't out yet, this is the game to play.
Disappointed!
You know the name. We all love it. Say it with me. Concorde. The first domestic supersonic jet which could fly from London to New York in just under 3 hours. The absolute pinnacle of aerospace engineering. Nobody's ever come close. Sure, there were a few crashes, but that compared to Boeing, it was not that bad. Yeah, this has nothing to do with gaming. I was just overly excited about airplanes. Oh yeah, Sony did release a game, but it only lasted a couple of weeks. I forgot what it was called. Skull and Bones, the first quadruple A game. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what all these A's stand for. Ubisoft remembered that everybody liked the pirate game with assassins in it, so they decided to make a proper pirate game. Except you're not a proper pirate and there's nothing to do other than sail on the ship for hours and 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 hours. Nobody wanted realism. Star Wars Outlaws? Oh, it's Ubisoft again. You did it! You made a very interesting game idea. Very badly. Well done. Suicide Squad.
What, we some kind of...
Suicided itself, yeah, it wasn't very good. Dragon's Dogma 2. Even an Indian guy's tutorial couldn't fix this game for me. It might be good now, but, you know, if they can't fix it, nobody can. Short-term memory lost the game. Wait, what was I doing again? Stalker 2, the first non-Bethesda bugless game. I'm not sure how they did it, but they somehow managed to remove any and all bugs from the game. I was very impressed, however, I did have some anomalies which completely broke the game. Now, to be fair, they do get a pass because, you know, circumstances. But I couldn't say it was a good game with all these unintentional anomalies flying about. They're getting patched as the days go by, but I can only go off my experience. They released patches which fixed a lot, but many of the core features are just still broken. Now, guys, unfortunately, I haven't been able to play all the games this year. My card kept weirdly getting declined, but I'll run you through some of the highlights. Black Myth Wukong.
Monkey.
Helldivers 2. Starship Troopers, the game. I didn't play this game, but something tells me you don't really want to play it. Kinda like EVE Online, you're only really there for the stories and clips. It's just so cinematic. Look at this. It's a shame Sony blew it up for a few months. Tekken 8, you ruined 2023. Even if you are a good game, you let everybody down. Now, what do I always say, class? Remakes of good games should always be good since the original game was good. Dead Rising? Good job, you did it. Silent Hill 2? Good job, you did it. Well, except for some of the changes and the poor optimization. But, you know, I put the fog up. All of that's behind the fog now. Nobody can see it. If only they implemented that into the game as well. Astrobot. The controller demo got a full release, which plays on nostalgia and honestly was quite good. Although, you probably didn't need to buy the £700 PS5 Pro to run it. It's pretty much a Mario Galaxy copy, but based on what Nintendo's been up to, I think you can copy whatever you want. I'd like to see them retroactively go after Sony. Elden Ring. Everybody waited 2 years for this wondrous DLC, and it was absolutely fine. It was just more Elden Ring in a shadowy place. It wasn't anything spectacular or different. At least I can sleep here. Imbiamba Jombas. I absolutely loved it, but it was basically a movie game. The gameplay portions were relatively fun with the improvised weapons. You can pick up fly squatters and brooms to hit people over the head. It captured the Indiana Jones aesthetic really well with the over-the-top cinematic lighting. But the puzzles weren't the most interesting. It had a lot of tedious moments between cutscenes. Just carry on the cutscene. Why am I walking over here to press X again? Saying all that, the rosy tint of nostalgia had its cast iron grip on me. I can't lie, it's almost my favourite game of the year. They captured the movie perfectly. Nostalgia's a bitch. My best game of the year goes to Warhammer 40k. It's not the most complex game ever, but it was short, sweet, and simple fun. It never felt like it overstayed its welcome, and it did a pretty good job of progressing everything forward. Saber does a great job of using their swarm engine to actually overwhelm you as the player, and for this style of game, I don't think they could have done much better. If you told me Saber was going to make a game at this level of quality back in 2019, I'd have had more faith in the world being flat and alien drones coming to monitor us 24/7. They only want to harvest our organs, it's fine. Although, if you want my honest opinion, indie games have been the best this year. There were plenty of great ones which I haven't really mentioned since I didn't play them or it's not exactly my cup of tea, but the sheer variety and quality levels were outstanding this year. Hey look, an indie game was nominated for Game of the Year. That's how you know this was a year for indie games, that the little guys did it. Although Astrobot won, I am happy that an actual game has won and not a remake or a DLC. I do find it crazy that Helldivers 2 didn't get a nomination. I mean, it kind of popped off in 2024. It popped off so hard it completely blew. Faltero won Best Indie Game. I can give it that. It was very addictive. It taught a lot of people poker. But I do find it crazy that Nine Souls didn't even get a nomination. What did it do wrong? It was very good. Faker won Best Esports Player of the Year. Of course he did. He's literally saying #1 in the picture. How can you compete? He's already told you who's won. I don't even think they had a vote. For Best Adaptation, we had... Wait, what? I'm not sure if some of the voters were smoking some of Billy Basso's produce, but how the hell did Fallout win over Arcane?
You want to make my cock explode now?
There's a clear golfing quality. Now for the most important moments of the year. It's time to consult the pyramid for this year's ranking. 2024 goes here. Yeah, it goes below 2022. That year had Elden Ring and Vampire Survivors. It's kind of hard to compete. 2026? Well, yeah, GTA 5 isn't coming out in 2025.